Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Path to Recovery podcast. Today's episode 17, and we're going to talk a little bit more about forgiveness. I think I just touched on it on some of the podcasts earlier, but I think it's time that we really kind of focus a little bit of attention on forgiveness. A lot of people are going to ask the question, well, what is forgiveness? I mean, we all know what it is. Oh, I forgive you. Get out of my face. Well, the truth is, folks, that there's false forgiveness and there's a true forgiveness. And the difference is real simple. False forgiveness is kind of like when we say things like, I suppose I'll forgive them. Does that mean you really forgave them? Or does it mean you're saying it because you have to? True forgiveness means that from deep in our hearts, we really want to heal from whatever it is that's affecting us. And when we commit to forgiving someone, the plan is to not own it anymore, to try and not relive it again, and to do our best not to bring that scenario back up. So we try to turn the situation into a lesson that we can draw from in the future. But we don't dwell on it, and we certainly don't let it affect us anymore, and we don't bring it up. It's a one and done. We make a pure act of forgiveness, and we hold true to it. I'm going to run through a couple of simple examples of false forgiveness versus true forgiveness, just to give you an idea as to what they kind of look like. So for false forgiveness, it could be something like, I know Ben pissed me off, but I forgive him for being a jerk. That's false because we really aren't doing it from our heart. We're just saying it to get it said. How about this one? That idiot just cut me off. Well, everyone says I should forgive them anyway, so I guess I forgive them. I mean, you can hear in the tone of my voice that it's really not true from the heart. And another one is, what about ourselves? I can't believe I got high again. Man. Well, I suppose I have to forgive myself for being stupid. I mean, folks, you can really kind of tell from how I'm presenting these, but that's really what happens inside us. When we're stumbling and struggling and we're trying to work on this thing called forgiveness, if we don't really believe it in our hearts and our souls that we're trying to actually accomplish true forgiveness, then saying them like this means that we're just not really caring enough about it. Whereas true forgiveness could look something like this. Wow, that was a really big mistake. I feel so crappy that I got high again. I need to work on that. I need to forgive myself for slipping up. Self, I want to forgive you for falling flat on your face today. I know it's hard work to stay clean and sober. I cannot lose my way. Forgive me, please, for slipping and help me do better next time. I mean, that's kind of deep from within. You can feel the depth that I was trying to portray there. You can sense there's a more true feeling behind that forgiveness. Here's another one. Paul, you know what? You really bashed me in front of everyone today. That really hurt my feelings. But the truth is, I can only change how I feel about it. I have to see the light in you and forgive you for saying those things. Yes, they hurt, but I need to learn to not be affected by it. So Paul, I forgive you, and I'm going to try my hardest to not let it get to me. But you need to know that if it does happen again, it's possible that could end our friendship. So in that one, folks, I not only was truly deeply feeling forgiveness for Paul, but I also gave him a solid boundary to say, look, dude, this is it. You cut me once. I'm not going to let you cut me again. And if you try to, we're done as friends. So it kind of combines a couple of factors that are key to healthy living, forgiving and making a boundary so that you don't have to worry about forgiving again. Remember, like I said at the beginning, we're trying to make forgiveness happen so that we don't have to relive something. And in that scenario, Paul cut me bad. My job was to say, look, dude, I'm done. I won't let that happen again. I'm truly sorry that this has come to this point, but I'm going to forgive you for that act. I can get past it, and I need to by forgiving you, but I'm not going to let you stomp on me again. So the art of forgiveness is not really something that is lightly traveled. Like I've been saying, you don't just shoot it out there for the sake of shooting it out there. Like anything else in our lives, it's going to take time to make it part of our daily lives. There's this thing called integration, and integrating forgiveness into your daily life is the only way to be 100% successful. And integrating just simply means that you do it enough that it's something that comes naturally to you when a situation arises. It's kind of like getting to work on time. When you do it every day, it's just something you do, not that you have to think too hard about. Or maybe saying you're sorry when you accidentally close a door on someone. I mean, it just comes natural. maybe just simply driving to the store. You don't really have to put a lot of thought into it. It just naturally, you know where to go. Start the car, back out of your driveway, and head to the store. We don't have to analyze it and completely relive every second, every corner, and every stop sign. So it's something you do without having to think about it, or think about it much. So the process for the forgiveness kind of begins like this. First and foremost, start out with one situation at a time and work on only that one situation. You don't want to start overwhelming yourself by trying to forgive everyone in your life in one moment, because that's really not truly forgiving. That's just trying to get away with something. Sometimes we have to start small and maybe start by learning how to forgive ourselves first. If you can become consistent in your own forgiveness, then you can better approach those around you with forgiveness. So there's this saying that's given to us around 2,000 years ago or so, and it goes something like this. Forgive them. They know not what they do. Doesn't matter where it came from, folks, but I want you to think about that for a second. Forgive them. They know not what they do. Now, that's not saying that they're idiots or stupid for doing something. It means that if we realize someone acted a certain way towards us or towards others, there's a good chance they may not have been in a good place in their minds during that moment. They may have been struggling in themselves to just find happiness, and they were slipping up. So our duty to a healthy us is to see it just as a slip up and to forgive them for slipping up, just like we hope others would do for us when we slip up. They know not what they do. We all have moments where we react before we think about how things will be after our actions. If you can do it with deep-hearted intentions and purpose, then it will be learned and slowly become integrated. Now, we can apply that statement when trying to forgive ourselves as well. Forgive me, I know not what I do. But it has to be sincere, and it has to come from your heart and not your head. It needs to be real, and it needs to be true forgiveness. I can't believe I cussed in front of that elderly woman. I feel like such a jerk. Forgive me, I know not what I do. I made a mistake. I feel sorry for the act that I did, and I want to be forgiven. And the best way to do that is for me to forgive myself first. But in order for that to really sink in, sometimes we might have to apologize for our actions, especially if we want to ensure that we feel the result of the forgiveness, and especially when it involves other people. It's a hard approach to life when all we have known is survival or hiding from everything and everyone. But it's a necessary piece to healing and the only way to truly become healed. So practice just these concepts, these simple pieces. Forgive me, I know not what I do. But you got to feel it, folks. You got to know that you're really trying to progress and heal and become a good person. The best way to do that is to learn the forgiveness, forgiving ourselves, forgiving others, not for the ugliness of what they did, but just for the fact that they might have slipped up. I might have slipped up, so I've got to forgive myself. Someone cuts me off in traffic. Yeah, I might have gotten upset at the moment, but you know what? Forgive me, and then I have to forgive them because you know what? They might have been in an emergency. They might have had a very good reason to do that, cutting us off. We just don't know it. So why would we want to hold it against somebody? We should forgive them for that act because maybe in that moment, that decision making they had was set off by something completely out of their control. Maybe the person in front of them was slamming on their brakes and the only safe thing they could do was cut in front of you. Nobody gets hurt. We have to learn how to forgive. It's not forgive and forget, folks. It's forgive. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your time as always. Folks, it's a long path. It's a hard path, but we're all walking it together. I've been down that road before. I know how difficult it is to make those decisions and commitments to heal and commitments to be a good person and to try and walk a better, cleaner, happier, healthy life. It's doable because everybody can do it. I know people that have been in situations just like you and even tougher situations, and they've come out. Why? Because they just believe that they need to be healthy and happy and that they deserve goodness in their lives. You deserve goodness in your life. Thank you very much, folks. God bless you, and I hope to hear from you again. Thank you again for listening in today, folks. Your time and energy is greatly appreciated. Please feel free to download these episodes, favorite them, share them, and even visit my YouTube channel, Yava-Coco Productions, for all the podcast playlists and for some insanely cool videos of my hiking adventures that I do in Sedona. That all helps me to continue to bring you more exciting podcasts and videos, both for healing, spirituality, as well as just kind of amazing videos of Sedona, Arizona. For those of you wanting to dig in a little deeper, maybe you're struggling with some inner issues, or you're in a recovery path from an addiction, or just looking for inspirational discussions about healing, check out all of my podcasts on your favorite podcast players. Titles like Path to Recovery podcast, Cognitive Awareness with a Touch of God podcast, Bear Clan's Hiking Sedona podcast, and yes, I even have one called Star Wars, The Bear Awakens podcast. We are here to help you, and what we're trying to do is offer you things that can help you for free. Plus, there's entertainment involved with a lot of these anyway. So thank you again, folks. God bless you, and I hope to see you on the rocks.